every night, Alex Rogan dreams of going far away.
You really are leaving here, aren't you?
Tonight, he will go further than he ever dreamed. He's 1 in a million.
Alert! We are under attack!
But the odds against him are 1,000,000 to 1. Alex Rogan is The Last Starfighter, rated PG.
Subverting expectations.
It's just clearly fan fiction.
But Loki, it wouldn't have been as exciting for the audience.
It's that look. It's that look right there. That look like test me, mother. Yeah.
And then there's a little old lady.
Knives for sale.
Of blindness and blandness want to make you do something crazy?
Greetings and salutations, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. It is another Talk Hard Tuesday. Let's do it. We're going to go back to 1984, The Last Starfighter. It is going to be a blast. So thankful that everyone is here. Great to see you out there. And what a great film and a great folks to hang out with here. So with me, as always, our co-host, Stone Cold Loki, my brother. What is going on?
Greetings, Starfighter. You have been recruited by the Star League to defend the frontier against Zur and the Kodan Armada. I'm great. What a great movie. I'm happy to be here. Awesome gentleman to get to hang out with and talk about this movie. I'm ready. I'm locked in. Let's go.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So there he is, the man of the hour. 600 subs. Congratulations to Ironcaster. He's rocking the shades. How are you, my brother?
It has been going pretty good. I wasn't really expecting to wake up and see it. I'm like, oh, we actually hit this. Oh no, I'm actually growing. Wait, I must be doing something wrong here. Come on, people can't possibly subscribe to me. I don't know why you keep me. I'm pulling you back.
He's just that much closer to passing us all by, folks. Make sure you are sub to the Ironcaster. It's rock and roll, man. Congratulations. It's awesome. So
thank you.
First time on Talk Hard from the Great White North himself, Zaxx, the man. It is so great to have you with us, my friend. It's awesome to have you.
Thanks for having me on. And I'm still a throat goat. My voice is iffy. And should you set your camera before the show or during? Is that what do you guys think? Is that etiquette? Do we do this now? How's that work?
People do it now all the time. Look at Nick from Echo Base. He does it now. He does it all the time. So those
just waiting for you. Just carry it around, man. It's hard to keep your shoulders in frame. We totally understand.
It is. It is.
I've seen those shoulders. They're that big. It's not 3D, folks. It's just it's 4K, baby. It's 4K. Well, let's say hi to this wonderful chat. They are always amazing, showing up. Tons of members that are out there, folks. It's great to see you, Jacob Ironside. There he is. Great to see you, brother. He was our What's Your Story guest this week. So if you have not checked that out, what an amazing conversation from an amazing man. I respect greatly. So DJ Ronnie G is in the house. Great to see you, Ronnie. Great to see you. Luis, awesome. Great to see you, lady. Hope you're doing all right. Awesome to see you. And Chris Persia, that's right. The wrench of wrenches. He's holding down things for us there, rocking and rolling. King of the wrenches, Chris Persia. Great to see you, brother. Now this is from my former coworker here. This is Bob from News Talk. He gifted 5 memberships. Brother, thank you so much for that. That is so gracious and kind. And let's see, those went to Dempsey, Melvin, Derail Gaming, Lord Thoth, and Claude. So great to see everybody there. Rock and roll those. Get your get your emojis, get your free access to early stuff. You know, they got reviews coming and going. So yeah, make sure you check that out. That'd be super, super cool. So blessed to have so many folks just doing all this. It's great. So let's see. Snort. All right. We got the King Polar Bear in the house. Always great to have him. Yeah. There he is, Pat S. He's running some stuff for us. Throwing down some Loki Zardos. Yeah. We haven't done that movie yet, Ironcaster.
No. We've already done enough horrible movies already. No.
I know we got to give Loki like a 6-month reprieve. Like in our private chat, Ironcaster's still trying to squeeze some more in. I'm like, okay. Nas is here.
I pick good movies. Like just not everyone appreciates my taste.
Mom and Dad Save the World's okay, but no, Zardos.
Not right now. So
we have to get through. We have to get through the worst TV series of all time here coming soon. So with Seaweed
believe
Wrap,
you guys are doing that again.
Hot Pocket and Autumn Sunrise and Strawberry Spartan 17 and all those crazy bunch of not Master Chief, just John. Master Chef John.
Yeah,
So,
it is.
you got to deal with that.
The only reason we remember anything Zaxx is because Mystery Science Theater is so bad because it was just so bad. So it made it at least a remotely entertaining time for us. Falls under the we watch it so you don't have to category, so you can do that as well. So
your show's better than that show for sure.
My favorite part of that stream is the fact that they started giving people the same kind of dumb names that we started giving them. Like there's a guy named Squirrel in the show.
Yep.
Okay.
And we really couldn't come up with a better name. We're like, well, that's kind of how he's behaving. I think it's just kind of on the nose. So yeah, there was like 1 or 2 of those were like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's an awful show, you guys. Awful.
Yeah. AJ's in the house. Great to see you, man. Awesome to see you. Beard of Liberty. Sorry I can't stick around. Love this movie. Hop in a little late. Rated. I'll catch that replay. Yeah, man. Definitely underrated. Yeah, it's definitely a fun film. It's nostalgia for me for sure. So. Oh, Justin get reelected again. I don't know. Zaxx, they say you look sad, man. Hang in there.
No, yeah. I can't look sadder because they find out I'm sad. I might get made. Can't risk that. So I'm happy.
Frog in the throat. Yeah, it's tough. Can be a Canadian, man. It's got to be cold up there, man.
Yeah.
Maria's in the house. Great to see you, lady. Thanks for coming by. It's awesome to have you with us. Let's see. Pops manages to edit a copy with Tom Hiddleston say swap for Sean Connery. Well, we could definitely figure out how to get that supercut. You never know. Hot Pocket references. Yes. Pops says to review the Kinski movie. Well, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. All right, Last Starfighter. So who kind of wants to go first? Zaxx, you're our special guest. You got a childhood memory of seeing this for the first time or some affinity for this film?
Yeah, I do. It was one of those VHSs that got worn out. It was a buddy of mine's actually, so I borrowed it. And because at the time, people didn't always have VCRs. It was still was this pre-VHS beta war? Were they still going on at the time? I think it probably was. But I remember loving this movie, and then I remember being older and thinking this movie must be terrible because CGI is actually in this film, and I'm thinking growing up, I'm too good for this movie now because I've moved on and I'm older and it's for kids. And I watched it yesterday, and this movie is a ton of fun, and the effects didn't bother me at all, and I didn't give it enough credit for what it was, which was just a fun popcorn movie. There's nothing I didn't like about it, so. I underrated it myself. Like you say, it's underrated, but I'm one of the people that underrated it based on my memories of it. And, growing up and thinking you're too old to enjoy something like this. And apparently I'm not.
Yeah, I definitely can agree with a lot of those sentiments for sure. Ironcaster, my friend, where do you come down on the old Last Starfighter?
So this is not my first time seeing this. I think, in fact, one of the first time I saw it was back when in the days of when G4 TV would air movies sort of on repeat when they were kind of at the tail end of that as a channel. And it was always kind of fun because you get to go and hop into the little chat room, get to kind of talk and kind of do our own little Mystery Science Theater while the movie's going on, and you can kind of get your little comments up on screen. It was really fun for that. But this is this is just kind of like you said, kind of a fun little sci-fi movie. It definitely feels like that post Star Wars sort of thing. Like it's impossible not to have been, especially with the 80s.
Okay. Yeah, there's a musical cue that's exactly Star Wars. It was like so on the nose, it was almost distracting. There's one musical cue was like that. So, yeah. Loki, how about you, my friend?
I am with Zaxx. The VHS of this in my house got worn out faster than one of Vince McMahon's office interns. Ooh, too soon? Probably too soon.
No, we're good.
So yeah, man, I loved this movie growing up. I loved this movie when I was a kid. I love it now. I've got it on Blu-ray. I don't think there's a 4K out there. If there is, somebody please tell me. I will buy it today and have it shipped to the house today. I do have the Blu-ray. It looks absolutely great on the big screen that we got. We're still working on getting everything out of the theater room, which is currently the storage room, which currently has 18 long boxes of comics in it. No, they are not mine. I'm holding them for a good friend 24/7. But once that happens, we'll be getting the theater set. I want to watch this on a big screen. I want to watch this. I've got the 68-inch TV, but I want to watch this on a projector, old school projector up on the wall. You're at the theater. It'd be great. I can't wait. I would love Fathom or whatever to come out and be like, you know what, we're bringing it back. Last Starfighter, one night in theater. I'd go see it today. I'd pay $20. I'd pay ticket prices today and go and see it. So,
well, to ensure that we break the bank, Ironcaster was all over it. That's a good price too, because it's definitely. I had eBay open, so I pulled it up. It's definitely cheaper on Amazon. So
nice.
Yeah, there you go, man. $25.
That is not bad at all.
No, that's pretty good for a 4K these days. So yeah, physical copy, rock and roll.
Arrow, and of course. That's why I
Arrow Video.
It's Arrow Video.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, awesome.
Which they've got a great selection of movies, by the way. Like I think they've got Tremors. They've got the Tremors 2 4K out.
Oh, nice.
Awesome. Yeah, I first chance I get, I got to pick that up.
So I remember seeing this as a kid. We would get dropped off. So we would either go to Britain Plaza or Twin Bays. This wouldn't have been a high profile movie, so we were probably dropped at Twin Bays. It's in South Tampa. It was basically the local dollar theater. We were given like $1 each, and that was pretty much what you got. You got dumped off and you were left there for movies. And I remember, I think it was a Betamax copy. My uncle had been in the military, so he came back. He had all these movies, 3 or 4 to a tape on these Betamaxes, and I ran that thing ragged, watching these type of sci-fi movies from that 80s. I told Loki before we started, and this and Enemy Mine are like ingrained in my brain. I'm just watching them over again. And it's being a trailer park kid. I was a trailer park kid. We were dirt poor, video games, dreaming. It just hit all this emotional chord, even though I was a little older by now. It just feels good. And I'm with you, Zach. It's one of those things where I always think I'm not going to enjoy it, and then I watch it and I always enjoy it. I always have sort of an underrated evaluation of it in my head for some reason. I don't know why, but I do, and I love this movie. So let's see. Ironcaster, is he playing 7 card? I don't know. He's got his glasses. Who knows? You got to just you just got to roll with it. I don't know. So
apparently, just to mention this came out the same weekend as The Muppets Take Manhattan, by the way.
Oh, okay. I do not remember seeing Muppets in the Muppets Take Manhattan. I only remember seeing the Muppet movie in a theater, and it wasn't until I think the Pirate Treasure Island. No, it's Christmas Carol. We saw Christmas Carol. That was way later though. So yeah. All right, cool. Let's see here. Ironcaster's trying to get me distracted looking at a list of all the 84 movies, because Lord knows that'll be a rabbit hole. Oh, yeah. 84 stock is rising, my friend, because I was doing the anniversary stuff and going through some other movies and things like that. So, I mean, it's not 82, but the stock is rising. It's separating itself out from some of the other ones that we've talked about in the past. So,
I've been putting stock on 84 for quite a while. Like I think there's three amazing years in the 80s for films: 82, 84, 89. And it's like picking a favorite child just from like the lineups, because with 84 alone, like the week before The Last Starfighter was Conan the Destroyer.
And
And then,
we'll have if we have time at the end, we can kind of come around to it. I think the difference is this is, I mean, this is a year that's carried by movies that are not as genre driven as 82 is. So I think that maybe why I'm a little bit on the bias side, but it's okay. It's all right. We're good. So
81 was no
Zaxx?
slouch either. Let's talk 81 because that was a murderer's row of movies that came out that year too. So
true. This is a glorious time to be alive, isn't it?
Mhm,
It's a glorious time. Yeah.
So for I have a visual for this one, and that is that we watched it so often that it's the cardboard sleeve that they would come in was all frayed and worn, and like that's how you know that you loved a film. Back
Well,
then.
the flap would just be gone.
Yes.
You get one, the flap just like hangs there. You're like, it's not actually attached anymore. You're like, yeah. We wore that baby out.
We did.
Or you'd put it in and there would just be sections where it just wouldn't work anymore.
Yeah.
It's just gotten so warped. Yeah. The mullet with a flannel jacket would be the peak. Yeah, we'll see.
Maybe.
How much do you think the original stand-up Starfighter arcade would be worth today? I bet than a Tron with original joystick. Yeah, I don't know. Tron's got a following. We'll see. Nerporio with 99 cents. Thank you, brother. Super sticker. Nerporio's an amazing supporter and friend. I was over. I got my first Chillporio under my belt from last week. So if you get a chance, go over there. Make sure you're subscribed to his channel, but also check that out. So. We didn't have a double wide, Nas. We were that it was a single wide. I spent most of my teenage years sleeping on the couch because we got to be too big in the shared room, and then ultimately there was a second place, and that's where I did go. But yeah,
could you imagine if they hadn't told anybody, if they'd have come out with the arcades, like a year, maybe a year, give it a year. You see these cool arcades, and you've never seen anything like this. It's got the adjustment. Basically, he's got a HOTAS setup. For anybody who doesn't know what that is, he's got throttle, he's got pitch control, he's got everything right there. They come out with this in the arcade, and then suddenly there's your movie. And you're like, holy crap, I just played that. Are you telling me, greetings, Starfighter? And they had, the voice and everything there. Centauri is the voice on the machine. Imagine how crazy that would have gone. Imagine how crazy that would have been. I know they didn't finish the game till like way after the movie. But
yeah, I was going to say, I don't think I remember seeing the arcade game. Like, it was way later, right? Is it a couple years?
Because they couldn't finish it. They even cut a whole bunch of corners on the Atari version because they just couldn't finish it.
Yeah, because I know that by the time, because I stopped going to arcades and stuff once I started driving because I was working, so I didn't really go to arcades as much. And I don't remember this being, so this was like one of those things like I'd see it later at the arcade, but it wasn't like during like being the arcade rat phase of my life. So everybody's just still talking, and they're talking about Muppets, talking about seeing that kind of stuff. 84 is greater than 82. Careful, Nerporio, we're gonna kick you out of the club. That's hate speech around here. Yeah, we'll see. You were born. Okay, well that's cheating. I see.
Bias.
Yeah, there's a long list, Nas. There's a long list. Ask the Wrath of Khan fans too how they feel about that year. So couch surfing, yeah, lots of love. So yeah, I will say the only thing that made me laugh today, which I don't know how I have different probably emotional responses, was when he actually wins the game and there's like a whole crowd of people, a whole crowd of normies cheering and stuff.
Oh yeah.
This just made me
What does
laugh
that
because I'm like,
mean?
okay, this would never happen. I mean, these people, they could care absolutely less what video games we were playing or when we were. Nobody cared. This actually made me laugh today. Yeah,
well, I always took it like they have nothing else better to do. They live out in the middle of BFE. There's nothing going on, so the littlest thing gets these people that excited.
Well, the fact that we even have a video game, because that was the comment that was made. Like, it wasn't supposed to go there. It was supposed to go to Vegas, but it went to some podunk trailer park. So reality is, it's kind of like if you lived in a really small town and the bar had a jukebox, because not every restaurant or bar, like the Pizza Huts kind of got us spoiled, because once the Pizza Huts rolled out, they started having like little tabletop video games and jukeboxes and stuff like that. But yeah, there were times where you would see a jukebox. It was like the coolest thing as a kid. You're like, oh my gosh, they have a real jukebox.
Yep.
So yeah.
it's a very diverse crowd too. It's all ages, all colors of people crowded around that one machine. And like now, older people don't get video games for the most part. Like 70s, 80s. These group, they would definitely 100% would not have got this game, but they were super excited about it. Anyway,
it was really funny scene. It really, really made me laugh. I really did. So, yeah,
It
but
was
yeah,
fun.
hail to angry Canadian overseas. Awesome. Yeah, fine for the user. Yes. Robert Preston as Centauri was great. Absolutely. Yeah, Robert Preston is sort of underrated character actor as well. But yeah, it was just a fun role and a fun sort of thing.
May the 7 pillars of Zulu be with you.
Oh, well, okay. So Dega said he actually would happen. He was in a group that watched the world record set for asteroids. Okay. Was that like, so, I mean, Dega, I'd love to hear about that because, I mean, it sounds like it could be like an event or something, though. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I could imagine going to like a show and they have a game or something like that, maybe. But like,
there would be, when you do a run, when you do like a crazy run at an arcade, that's one of the things I remember because that was like my jam. I was always at the mall, I was a mall rat. I was always at the mall. I was always at the arcade. If I wasn't at the arcade mall, I was down at the Diamond Selects store with the Street Fighter that had Street Fighter. So, but you'd get like every once in a while, you'd get someone that was just extraordinarily talented playing and do this massive run in like 1 quarter, and there would be a huge crowd watching. People had never seen that shit before.
That's true. I mean, I remember it happening some, but yeah. Anyway, go ahead. What were you saying?
I said now they do it for free on Twitch.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is back then, if you're in an arcade, you would get that crowd if it's in an actual arcade because all the people there are already there to play video games, so they're interested in what that is. But this is like just in the open, and
the trailer park people are just coming from everywhere. Like Zaxx said, I don't want to hear about not diversity in film. We should just use it as an example. So, have you watched Last Starfighter? You guys are, shame on you. We even have the iguana.
Well, remember they said this film wasn't that diverse. That's why they wanted to remake it. That's why they brought up the fact that they were going to do. They were going to do a soft reboot with his daughter, where they replaced a bunch of things and just included him in it, just because that way they could say, "Oh, it's a sequel. It's not a remake."
Do you notice it's always the daughter?
It's always the daughter.
Yep.
That's their way to do the soft reboot. Is it's not a remake. It's just the daughter.
That's the thing, though. This is one of those movies where I actually wouldn't mind seeing like them come and bring up a sequel. Like, hey, this was kind of a good little movie. No one's really thought about it. It might be fun to kind of take this world and go do more things with it. Like, what about all the stuff that Centauri prattles off about the 7 moons and all this galactic council stuff? Like, what's Alex off and doing? Like, that could be fun to explore. And of course, let's be clear, not make him a deadbeat dad, because the girlfriend went up with him.
Well, that's exactly what was going to happen. The daughter was going to be back at the trailer park and have no idea who her dad is or where her dad came from or what her dad went and did, and think that her dad was a piece of crap. And then she goes up to be a starfighter because that's her last hope, because he can't do it. So
we're better off without it.
Yeah, no, we're good.
Yeah, we're not in a place right now where I want to see anything touched. So, but yeah, this was a lot of fun. And I gotta be honest, there are scenes where his makeup and stuff is great. There's a couple shots where it's not so great, but there's a lot of scenes where he looks really good. I wish it was more. Again, hey, I got careful the word I use. I wish they had used some like moisturizer and stuff. It looked more wet. It looked like, but he's supposed to be like almost like a goanna scales or something like that. But sometimes the makeup looks really, really good in this sequence.
I was impressed actually with that because I watched it in 4K, or it said it's 4K anyways, the copy that I watched, and it looked good. The makeup mostly held up, which is a big challenge for a film that's that old, and in 4K sharpness, it looked pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching. I was thinking the whole time, like, what if every time he does his little gasp, it's like actually in his language some insult at the kid, like you stupid idiot.
I loved it. I thought it was great. It makes me
Oh,
laugh.
no, it is great. I'm just like thinking, like, what if it's just one of those little character ticks that didn't translate with the little like button translator?
Well, that's kind of funny. Yeah, well, that's almost like the Alienation gag. Alienation was kind of built around that gag, where like things that were supposed to be normal were actually like insults and vice versa and stuff. So yeah,
Your mother mates out of season.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, this was work. It works really well. I love the kid. I mean, I think that Lance Guest was sort of like, you know, he had his run. It didn't quite take. You know, he had, you know. Well, by the way, before we get too far into this, you know, because we talk about how next week we're doing a Carpenter movie. We talk about doing some Carpenter movies. Well, this isn't a Carpenter movie, but the guy that directed is Nick Castle, who plays Mike Myers in the original Halloween.
Oh.
He had seen Lance Guest, and so there's a lot of Halloween and Carpenter threads in here. So I thought that was kind of cool. I kind of forgot about some of those details. I was double checking. So, but yeah, he was Michael Brody in the other Jaws movie too. Go ahead.
Actually, real quick, since we kind of brought up the makeup with the makeup here, like just kind of a moment, just how good some of these other alien designs are.
Yeah.
His tentacles move more than the squid face guy in Jedi. Yeah, his little tentacles go up and down and sideways, whereas squid face didn't really move that much. So yeah, they put something in there to get it to move around.
You wouldn't get that today either. You just get some CG crap.
And they used like, you know, little robot sockets for the eyes. I mean, they didn't. Yeah, this would all be CG stuff. They would just be cheap CG stuff.
And then I just love this guy's face.
That's the saboteur, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the saboteur.
Yeah.
So one thing that I thought of when watching this is I was impressed by how much of a world they built out for this movie, because I don't remember that as a kid. I remember the highlights of the big space battle. That is actually in my mind, but there's a lot to this movie in this universe that they never went back to.
No,
Like, was it-
no, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Was it supposed to be a franchise?
I don't think they knew. I think that they just were just going with stuff, and then the story just kind of worked, and they just kind of left some stuff on the table. In some ways, it does feel like it's sort of like abrupt and how it kind of moves and jumps forward and just kind of skips over things. It almost like we're in like a Men in Black universe, and then we just kind of ignore the fact that a whole lot of that stuff exists and just get to the story kind of thing. So.
Well, there's like so much. There's a lot of backstory we don't get about why Zur is doing this against his father. We don't get the resolution of that because he escapes the ship, and you know all you get is his dad later going, "We will find him. We will search until we find him." There's all this stuff like who are the aliens that he's using? Okay, so the Kodan Armada are these guys that he goes to, and he's like, "I'll give you the Star League. I'll hand it to you." So they're like, okay, and they make him powerful, but only in his head. So they're just using him anyway. They're just using Zur to take down the Star League, and once Zur's down, they're gonna get rid of him anyway because they're just using him. So is he the bad guy or the other guy's the bad guys? In the reality, he is the traitor.
Right.
He's the one who's betrayed the Star League and his father.
Right.
But the Kodan
But he's being
Armada,
betrayed too. Yeah.
the bad guys too. So there's a whole bunch of stuff there. What happens after you? They rebuild the Star League. How many systems do the Star League encompass? There's a lot of questions that are not answered throughout this movie or to the end of this movie. I would have loved to see a franchise. I really would have.
Or why are the Betazoids not allowed to participate in combat? Like, why is that like a rule?
Yeah, because they can just make more people. So maybe they don't see it as ethical because they can just make them. So we can make a whole bunch of people, but we're not going to let them. We're not going to let them be warriors because then we have a problem. We make betas. We make a whole bunch of warriors and just send them off in battle. Nobody's going to miss them. Maybe that's very unethical to them. I could see that.
I mean, even like for infiltration reasons.
Yeah.
Well, let me say thank you to Nerdporio for gifting a Pops membership. That one went over to Nas. So thank you, my brother. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. Nas, welcome. Welcome, my friend. The old man from RoboCop is the alien captain, I think. Yes, I believe you are correct. He is the old man from RoboCop, indeed. I have to say this too. The other thing, and maybe Zaxx, you watched it today with the 4K or whatever that version was.
Yeah.
The space sequences inside the ship and stuff probably look the best. Like sometimes when they showed the ships, like the exterior of the ships and stuff like that, the CGI seemed a little bit more wonky. But as far as like inside out like this, these kind of shots, these actually look really, really good for me.
Yeah, me too. I thought it looked great. And I was thinking it was going to be way worse than Babylon 5 in terms of the effects, and it really wasn't. Like they mixed it up quite a bit with the practical stuff, and then they'd add on with some CGI, it looked like. And even the ship stuff, it didn't really bother me at all.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to like totally throw it under the bus or anything like that. I think the ships were fine. It was just like you could tell it was wonkier compared to a lot of those shots were actually very, very seamless. Some of these shots were great. I thought they were just fantastic. It's just so well done. So
they had to use a supercomputer, and the highest resolution they could get was like 3000 by 5000 with like 36-bit pixels. This is, I mean, it's like my home computer can do better than that
right
now. But at that time, to do 27 minutes of digital effects like this, CGI effects, which not like this, hadn't been done like this. This was something huge. This was each and every frame had to be animated and contained, I think, an average of 250,000 polygons. That's, I mean, for 84, that is very impressive. It took them a long time to do this.
Yeah, this movie was amazing. So, oh man, look at you guys. You guys are just crazy. So Pat S with another member comment here. The guy, Victoria is an alien. He tried to sell Opie a trumpet in Jerry Indian. Hail pops in the panel. Oh, Pat S, you're killing me. Killing me. All right. Yeah, I love these graphics. I thought this actually was great. It felt very much in line with the video game that we saw earlier. So the transition from that to this worked really well for me. But that's actually like we've been saying, just better than I thought. I had such a great time watching it today again, and watching it again last week. And I said every time though, it's one of these films. It's just again, I say underrated because it's got to be the best of the Star Wars sci-fi films. Like this is like, you know, that Star Wars made all these happen, so I think this has got to be one of the best. It's definitely because of the story. Like you said, Loki, there's so much richness in here that's left on the table. There's so much more they could do. It's really, and these guys, their makeup and their stuff, they look fantastic. This is all pulled off really well.
Yeah.
Yep.
When his little red visor thing moves on its own, I was like, that's a really freaking cool effect for 1980s, man.
That's cool.
I mean, you know, you always wonder why does it do that? Why does it only like close over the eye? Is there any reason for it? Is it like is he pissed? Is it his target algorithm going off? Like, I want to shoot you. So his little visor flips over and goes into RoboCop mode. No.
I assume they're the ones who own it. So it's under Universal's flagship. So I don't know. Maybe Universal appears to be one of the companies they've tried to right the ship in some of their franchises. So maybe they can find the right passionate 80s kid that wants to helm up the right kind of continuation of the saga. I don't know.
They were all ready to go into production on this movie. It has not been explained why they didn't. But the story about the daughter, about not knowing her father, all of that was confirmed. It was in the script. They had the script. They were going to go through the movie, and then something happened, and everything got the brakes put on it. No one knows why. Someone out there knows why, but it's not public. But none of us really know why. It just got the kibosh put on it, and suddenly it's not going to happen. But they were all ready and geared up to go and make this movie when it was like, nope, we're not going to do it.
It's like Gary Whitta was attached. He did Rogue One and Rebels, so they had him attached to write it. Somebody asked Wyatt Russell if he'd be interested in doing a remake.
Really?
That's a good casting choice.
That would be good.
I think we're all in on Wyatt Russell right now. Let's look at this alien. This looks so good. This was really sort of like far superior than what I remembered, and I had such a blast immersing myself into the little Starfighter universe. It was a lot of fun. I was disappointed when I was looking, like there's not a bunch of comic books and other materials and I had novels. There's just not very much to go on. I'm like, wow, okay. I mean, all right. Untapped potential is what I see. So
there's just so many of these good little like special effect shots, like when we have the Betazoid just the skin is just expanding and contracting, the eyes are looking around. It's kind of unsettling the first time you see it.
Yeah, I think I saw that today and I thought to myself, I think that kind of spooked me as a kid. And I was a teenager, so I wasn't like totally icked out or anything like that, but like, whoa, kind of like taken back. Because it was like this is like a PG family kind of movie. I didn't expect to have something sort of like unnerving, if you will. So
I'm sure that would have freaked me out, that scene. For sure would have. As a kid.
What about the head melting?
Yeah. Brutal. That was great, though.
Yeah, the head melting was great, and they cut away right at the last second, which kind of makes it worse because you don't know if he's going to go like Gremlins in the microwave or not.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you're presuming happens, but you don't see it. So it's like, oh, it's kind of worse in my head than it was, if they showed me.
Yeah.
One of the other shots here that I had to stop and I had to have a good laugh is when we saw the wife. it's just him in a turtleneck sweater.
Yeah, that was kind of funny actually.
I mean, this is almost it feels like it's perfect for like a Photoshop head swap.
Sure.
Like they might have just actually done that for this.
I think it's just him. I don't think I think it's just a different person. Yeah, it's just yeah.
Yeah, they took a chick and took a picture of her and then put his head on her body.
We need to put Loki's face on that.
Good plan.
I'm surprised there's not already one out there. These people are cruel. So who knows what'll happen now that you brought it up. Thank you for that.
Ironcaster. That's whose head needs to be on the. Yeah, we'll do Ironcaster. You guys have done that to me enough. Do it to Ironcaster. It'd be funnier. Trust me. He just hit 600. It's his celebration. Give him tits. I don't need tits.
Oh, so I get to wear a fancy dress for my 600 celebration?
That's right. You get to wear the fancy dress.
You're the fancy princess.
We've got the Sharkcaster, though. We got the Sharkcaster still.
That's it. Let's roll up those Sharkcasters. Yeah. Chris Persia's not that cruel. I guess you're off the hook. But Ironcaster. Sharkcasters. Here they come. Yeah. But yeah, right. That did make me laugh. Ironcaster's a good catch. Good call. I think it's the other thing too, even with the movie, I was having such a good time. So the combination of enjoying the effects and the story and nostalgia, a few laughs, it just gave me a little bit of everything I needed to have a good time. And that's something that we just don't get anymore.
I mean, even down to like just the build of just the tech and talking about like the effort that goes into like how cool the gunner's seat is.
Yeah, everything around that is lines about get used to it and play with it and don't fight with the chair. And I don't know about anybody. And of course, we're all like uber nerds. So we're all like, yeah, I want a chair. I want to play. You know what I mean? I want my turn. Let's go. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Lots of love for the Star Fox. Yeah. Keely Chow's in the house. Hey there.
I'm like, just here's all your controls. Do all these things. Just don't touch that. That's the Death Blossom.
The Deadly Blossom was freaking great, man. I laughed when I heard that too. Yeah, it's the equivalent of Don't Be Cocky, Kid.
It's the Chekhov's Death Blossom. You know we're gonna have to see this thing by the end of the movie.
That's right.
At least there is a payoff that happens on camera and not off camera, because that's actually what happens in a lot of shows these days.
Yep.
So,
You know, I have to say I enjoyed the beta learning to be a boyfriend. I don't know why, but I found it worked for me. It was amusing the entire time.
When it first started, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna hate the beta thing."
Yeah, but I didn't.
I don't remember how bad this gets. I'm like, "Oh, it's all comic relief. It'll be fine." I'm like, and then as it went along, I'm like, "Oh man, beta's got a little story arc. This is pretty great."
Yeah,
And I mean,
liked
even the nice thing was they didn't overplay it, so it didn't feel like it overstayed the welcome. It was here just enough to get in a couple jokes. He's like, "Oh, by the way, I'm totally like a synthezoid. I'm not your real boyfriend." What? Bang. Oh, yeah. See?
Yep. Yeah, you're right. They didn't kill you with it.
Lady Mist, hey there. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for hopping in here and enjoying some time with us. Appreciate that.
Greetings, Guardian of the Void.
Yeah. I think that I was looking through some of the trivia and it was talking about how the original they added more beta. They went back and filmed some beta because they wanted some comic relief stuff after some of the screenings and stuff like that. That's why he has a wig on, because they had cut his hair and stuff like that. But these scenes are done really well, and it does play for enough of that comedic element and fills up it pads the runtime, because it's still a relatively short movie. But like you said, it just gives us enough fun. It doesn't overplay its welcome. So
yep. We also get like him, the betas going in, like trying to fix his head.
Again, I think it's what Zaxx was talking about earlier. Like, it's just eerie and unnerving. I'm not quite sure what I'm seeing here, but then they got to make a gag about it. Like, you're just having a nightmare, kid.
Yeah.
It's just enough to it gives me everything I want. I'm having some fun, but I'm also a little uneasy, and it could be safe for the kids, but it's not like, it kind of creep them out a little bit. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, they're like,
I agree.
Go to bed, or we're gonna tell mom about your Playboys.
Playboys, yeah.
Okay, there's lots of Playboy references in this.
That was good.
That kid is a connoisseur of his Playboys too. He's like, "Where's June? I'm looking for June."
He knows what he wants.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like, they weren't the older brothers. No, they're not Alex's. No, they're the little brothers. His Playboys.
Right.
Yeah, he's stolen them. Yeah, he's hidden away. Yeah.
Real quick, what do you guys think about the car?
Oh,
Chicks
the
dig
DeLorean.
the car.
Yeah.
Can you tell? Can you tell Back to the Future was in recent memory?
You can.
Well, this is before Back to the Future.
Yeah. This is
Was it?
before Back to the Future.
Yeah, this is still based on the DeLorean. I mean, obviously it's based on a DeLorean, but this is before Back to the Future by 2 years. Yeah. Well, 85, I guess so. Yeah.
If they had a 4-door DeLorean, it might have looked like this.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh yeah. Huh. I for some reason I thought Back to the Future was 82.
No,
1985.
85.
85.
Miss June of 84 is not aged well. Gosh.
Yolanda, baby.
Yolanda. Yeah.
The bunk bed situation is a bit weird, though, huh?
The what part?
The bunk bed situation.
Yeah, I thought that was a little funny. But then again, it's trailer park. I mean, that was pretty. That was my life. So yeah, I remember our room was so small we didn't have bunk beds, and it was like, well, I got went to teenage years. I'm like, I don't even fit. Like, we ended up sleeping on the couch. So it was like a couple years before we ended up in a different place. But yeah, the trailer park life, and this is really trailer park. A lot of these are like RVs and stuff. They're not even like just like small mobile homes. They're like RVs. So it's really small space. Yeah.
Any pictures of? Oh yeah. Let me pull this up. There's like here's a shot, and
I love that sign, by the way. That Starlight, Starbright sign. It's working. That's freaking great. Set design. So yeah, the aerial shot showing like the RVs and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, these are like they still have the wheels on them.
Right.
No, these are mobile. These are and he makes that comment later on when he's trying to explain his life. Yeah, we had a mobile home. We didn't go anywhere though, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's yeah. So it's almost like an RV park, not a trailer park. It's different. I mean, it was different back then because it was all melded together back then. It wasn't as separate unless you were like in a retirement area or something like that where they were all like foundation. So, yeah. It would make the films more accessible, but I'm biased because it was like, this was like, you know, I was in that impoverished phase of the 80s. But it seems like it makes it easily more accessible than sometimes they do these movies where it's set in a suburban. Like, this is one of the criticisms of John Hughes movies where they're set in these like rich neighborhoods or whatever, and it's all these
Right.
you know, expensive family, whatever, and like none of us live like that. So
Yeah, that's true. Like, it's kind of like a character, really. The RV park or this mobile home park is a bit of a character in the movie.
and that's true because it does go back to what we were talking about earlier with Beta, because Beta's story arc is in the trailer park and all that kind of stuff. So it does like kind of, you know, lends itself into fleshing all that out a little bit. So
Was there anyone in this who like became like a household name that you guys can think of? I didn't recognize anyone in this.
does Will Wheaton count?
No.
Okay, just making sure.
Is he in this?
He has a cameo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Robert Preston had already been a household name, so
Okay.
he'd kind of become a big performer with Music Man and stuff like that. But I don't think this movie was really billed or played with like a big name or anything like that.
Only if you count the fact that he goes on to play in Jaws 4, the worst Jaws movie out of all.
Yeah, he
of
plays
them.
Michael.
Jaws Revenge. Yeah.
Yeah, the
This
most
time it's
famous person
personal.
is probably the director, because the director Nick Castle is the guy that played Michael Myers. So the director is more famous than anyone in the cast.
Yeah.
Some of these shots are really, really done well. It's just such a fun, nostalgic, clean little sci-fi adventure film.
Yeah, that's kind of the nice thing with this movie. It's not an overly complex movie, so it's able to kind of really take its time and enjoy itself. The most you get are just these little like throwaway lines that seem like they're kind of hinting at a much wider galaxy out there. That we're gonna drop this here in, and it's like, here's these. Once the green moon turns black, we'll commence the attacks.
Yeah, Variety, they did a review of this. They called it the simple yet ingenious plot. Action is suitably fast and furious, but what makes the movie especially enjoyable are the quirky character touches. Yep. Yes. Oh, look at Nas. He's enjoying his membership emojis. Good job, Nas. That's right. Rock and roll. Yeah, he did. Yeah, Will Wheaton is one of those kids. Yeah. What? Yeah, he's listed as a cameo because of it, but yeah, I don't. I mean, that's technically what a cameo used to be. Now they give people speaking parts and call it a cameo. I don't quite understand the definitions anymore.
We
So
got
what do
a
you guys
big old
think
wink and a nod.
for this movie? What do you think about next generation? Like, do you think like kids now would watch this? And would they take anything positive from it? Do you think?
I just watched this with my 16-year-old over summer break. She
Okay.
liked it.
Okay.
She thought it was a fun movie. She asked, the biggest question she asked me though was, "Are there any more of them?" And I was like, "No,
Oh.
that's it. That's all there is." And she's like, "So it's not like that other movie?" I'm like, "No, it's not like you." So
Yeah.
she's all
It's-
into that now. She wants to watch all the Alien movies, all the Predator movies, all the Alien versus Predator movies. But she was interested in this and liked it and thought it was a good concept for a movie. Wanted more. Can't ask more than that.
Well done, Dad.
Thank you.
Lady Miss giving it a thumbs up as well. I don't know, Zach. My grands are a little too young for this. I don't think that they have the attention span. I mean, the 9-year-old might watch it, but I don't know. He's not really into sci-fi. He's just not clicking. He's into other stuff. So
Right.
I got them on Batman, so I'm trying not to rock the boat too much when they're actually requesting to watch Batman animated series. So I'm
That's
like,
cool.
I don't want to rock the boat too much. Ride that as long as I possibly can.
Just don't get them Suicide Squad.
No. They asked for like literally. This is what I was going to do a video, but it's like I would have to really give people examples so they understand, because I make references to shows people have never seen. So it's like they literally are asking for like Underdog and Strawberry Shortcake and Inspector Gadget and stuff like that. They're not. They know that we have Bluey and all this other modern crap, and they still ask for the OG once they've seen it. And my grandson is hooked on, my grandson is totally hooked on Batman animated series. He doesn't even call it Batman. He just says, "Can I watch Almost Got Him? Can I watch Heart of Ice?" He knows the episodes by name. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He knows the episodes by name.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Because that's how they're saved on the file. The files I have the names are up on the screen. So he knows the names. Yeah. So I can put Last Starfighter at the option and see. But yeah. I love this ending scene. It was just almost like so silly and cheeky and fun, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
And I think there's something to really appreciate there, because this does like just the right amount of cheese with it. Like he didn't have like a big overly complex like alien greeting to go and make you seem like he's from a totally different culture. He's just alien enough, does the intergalactic little hand gesture, and he shows up just to be like, look, I'm just this alien, but I've heard so much about you. And so for the audience, it works really well to kind of put them in the role of being this little kid from a trailer park getting to be like meet an alien for the first time.
That's true, because it was a sweetness, right? Your brother has told me about you. Really?
Right.
I'm somebody to an alien? And it's a really great twist on what usually is turned into a gag or an awkward joke.
Yep.
So, yeah. Good point.
Right.
Nos is giving you some love. Loki as a dad says, kids don't have a attention span for these kind of movies. Mini Loki's an exception. Good on you, man. I have pushed back, Nos. I've got 3 grandkids that experiment, a couple others that are too young, but the 3, they'll watch most things. I mean, there's nuances with that because kids are into certain things. Like I said, the 2 are too young. The 2 girls are too young for sci-fi. They're just not interested at all. He's just not into sci-fi. He doesn't really watch Star Wars stuff yet. But no, our kids are like that. Loki and I talk about it all the time. Like, little kid Loki's like this. She's into all sorts of stuff, man.
I kind of grew them up on sci-fi, so Transformers and stuff like this, and I got shit because I let my oldest watch Alien when she was 9. I watched it when I was 8, or Aliens, sorry, with the Marines. I covered her eyes up when there was some gruesome bits, but I watched it when I was 8. She loves stuff like that. She loves sci-fi. She loves spaceships. She's always talking about, I want to go to space one day. I'm like, well, you got to do math, a lot of math, do the math, lots of math. But she loves stuff like this. So I'm lucky. I got 2 kids that are nerds.
Yeah, done.
Awesome.
So the last shot I really liked with this is where Alex and his girlfriend are going up into space, going back up into the spaceship, and he's like, I told you I'd come back for you. And as they're getting ready to take off, the brother's like, I want to go, but they can't find space for him in the ship. So what does he do? He goes running right to that arcade machine. He's going to be the next recruit.
Yeah.
I really like the resolution. All of this stuff you just said, all of it I thought was really well done. It was simple. It was not complex, but I thought it opened up for what would be a cool sequel or something else. And unfortunately, it's not there, but they really did answer all those questions, even though they're not complicated questions. At least they addressed them, and they gave the brother, a bit of he's going to start on his journey now.
Yeah, this thing talks about how there were sequel plans as far back as like 2008, and just always get stuck in some sort of pre-production hell. Everyone from Spielberg to Seth Rogen has had their name attached to some sort of iteration of some sort of version of wanting to do something with it. So we'll see. The one that Loki you were talking about is the one that Widow was going to write. So it just died. I don't know.
Yep. It just died on the mine.
So who knows? He's some producer just said, nope, going a different direction. Yeah. Every 8-year-old should be exposed to Bill Paxton. I approve. That's funny. Guess it depends, because if it's Chet, it might give you nightmares. So, but yeah, I couldn't agree more. Ironcaster, we could all have this as sort of like a regular thumbnail or something, right? This is a great image.
Oh yeah, I'll be sure to send you this page.
Yeah, that's a good still to use.
It's
or
great.
Something. Yeah. All right, we have time, so we could always circle back to the 1984 conversation. Before we do, though, any other last thoughts, Ironcaster?
No, this is kind of one of those perfect little 80s movies to kind of always kind of keep on hand. It's like, I don't know if I necessarily want to go and rewatch this every single week, like, you know, a RoboCop or anything. But it's one I am more than happy to sit down and watch if someone says they haven't seen it, or if they're like, oh, I haven't seen this in a while. Yeah, let's throw this on. This would be good to pass a little time.
Yeah, I could see this being in the regular rotation every year or so, for sure. So, how about you, Loki? How often do you watch the old LAST Starfighter?
At least once or twice a year. It's one of those movies, man. That's one of those
in the
movies
rotation,
that
yeah.
you know is in the rotation. It all depends. You know, I finally got all the movies up, and we've got 3 bookshelves worth, big bookshelves of movies. It's in that rotation. At some point, I will pull it out and watch it and enjoy it. You know, so if it's on that bookshelf, it's in the rotation.
Zaxx, what was the this is definitely kind of a big deal to get a chance to watch it, have such a positive response from it. Love your thoughts going forward.
Yeah, I was really impressed with this film for what it was. I really enjoyed it. I had discounted it unfairly over the years and hadn't watched it since, I mean, probably the 80s, I would say. And, you know, I did love it, and then was too cool for it, I think, for a while, or thought that I was. And coming back to it, I put my phone down for this movie, and I thought, I'm just going to watch it for the show, and I'll get through it so I can have some things to talk about. But no, I just enjoyed it. It's just a fun movie, and it's made to be entertaining and nothing else. And you know, movies now could learn from that, I think.
Boy, I agree with that. Princess Leia Rose is here, though. Hey, Leia, good to see you. And Starfighter's like, Digtown, when you are in the mood, except no substitute. Indeed. This is one that Mrs. Pops will always let us run with, for sure. So I don't have any problems getting her on board with throwing in LAST Starfighter. I think, as I said, like when the kid, and he's got a year or two, or then the other boy comes up and he's old enough, we'll see. So, but there are a couple scenes that are a little icky. So I definitely would have to figure out how to make sure I don't get myself in trouble by, you know, let an 8-year-old watch the alien go in the microwave or whatever that scene insinuates. Because that's what's going to happen. You have kids like that, the boys are going to be like, what happened? His head explodes. You're like, oh, well, you know. So, yeah. That's good. It was such a fun movie. I'm glad we kind of threw it out on the list. And it does kind of set the table a little bit for how great 84 is as a year. So yeah, Arcash, if you want to pull the list up, we can throw down some 1984 movies. I've always wanted to kind of do like a hierarchy and kind of categorize them and line them all up. But I for me, it all started with Jaws in 75 from Jaws, and it's literally like 15 years where you just have so much stuff, so many movies. It's just a perpetual state of just greatness. It really, really is. So, all right, you're gonna have to read off some of the stuff. That would be.
Yep. So just kind of go down the list here, and this is broken out by basically week by week. So, start of 84, we got Hot Dog the movie. It's kind of one of the names that kind of stands out to me.
The ski comedy, right? Is that one?
No, it can't be that one. Is it really?
No, it's
Yeah, there you go.
Dog the movie. Okay, yeah, you're right. I don't remember that one being that year, but I guess so.
Hot Dog, French fries. Let's see, kind of Buddy System, El Norte. January is kind of a slow month. Not really unusual. February, Crackers. Oh, February 17th.
He skipped it. Waiting for chat to chime in. I'm waiting for chat to chime in because he skipped it. You guys got it.
Which one? Blame it on Rio?
Blame it on Rio. This chat knows why. Chat, tell me why. You guys know why. All right, Footloose. Footloose was a big movie. I mean, I don't think I've ever watched it again, but it's a big movie for sure. I can't deny Kevin Bacon's career for sure.
It's got to be brought up at least once.
Yeah. One of the Lasseter. Did Lasseter make money? Because Lasseter's a Magna PI Tom Selleck movie. No, it didn't make money. It lost money. A lot of people went and saw Lasseter though. So no, Against All Odds. You skipped Repo Man. Repo Man's like
I'm right here. I'm right here.
Okay, yeah. We're gonna have to do a show on Repo Man. Repo Man is a messed up blast of a film.
Wow.
Let's see. Actually, the same weekend in March is Repo Man and this is Spinal Tap.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing either one in theater, but I know that that Spinal Tap is a VHS. Like Zach was saying, that box was falling apart by the time I was done with my Spinal Tap copy.
Yeah, I'm looking at this.
I think
there's a lot from this year.
I think it's a lot.
Corn.
I'm seeing a lot of solid. I'm not seeing a lot of great at this point.
Pete's Dragon.
Still going.
Yep, Pete's Dragon got re-released this year.
Fine. Yeah,
Splash.
Yep.
Terminator.
Police Academy. Greystoke.
Police
We're seeing that in
Academy.
theater. Love that. Romancing the Stone was a big. I can do a video on that. Romancing the Stone, because Romancing the Stone was a massive breakout movie for all of those stars. Zemeckis.
Starman. That was a fun one.
Yeah, we're doing Starman next week.
Oh, cool.
Friday the 13th, the final chapter.
It's never the final chapter.
It's never. Yeah. 16 Candles.
The Break-In, 16 Candles, V, the Final Battle, Finders
Firestarter.
Keepers, Temple of Doom.
So yeah, Temple of Doom would be one we could at least put on the list of like a big influential movie, but it's because it's like a debatable movie because it's aging better than it did at the time. Same with Search for Spock.
Search for
Yeah.
Spock. That was
It was
the
just-
first Star Trek movie I can remember ever seeing in theaters.
But also, it's the weekend right after Temple of Doom. So now we're starting to get more months. We're starting to get them kind of jam packing in.
We were in Pasadena, Texas, and saw that.
And then
I
what's
still
this? The week
remember
after the
shitty
Search for
theater we
Spock?
saw it in.
Why? It's a little movie called Ghostbusters
And Gremlins,
and
right?
Gremlins.
And Gremlins, yeah. But here's the thing: we went and saw all those movies. Like I don't understand. I always joke about this because people think, but it was like, yeah, you just get dropped off. They just leave you. And I'm like, there was another movie every week. You could see multiple movies. I remember seeing Top Secret. I mean, I remember seeing every single. Let's see, I would when I scroll back up from May, so I'd be out of school. So I had to get out of school. So Temple of Doom, Spock, Ghostbusters, Gremlins, Top Secret, Karate Kid. I couldn't get in Bachelor Parties rated R. I think Cannonball
Destroyer.
Run. I didn't get to see Conan when that early. I would have saw Conan a little bit later in the year. But yeah, I remember seeing Ghostbusters like 2 or 3 times. Gremlins a couple times. This is one of these years, I think, with 84 for me. It's like there's a lot of really good movies. It's a deep year where there's a lot of good movies, but I don't know if this is like 82 is, where you have so many like the best of all time kind of lists of movies.
So would you say this is like a B grade year? Like it's full of a lot of really solid stuff?
No, it's like an A minus. It's like
Okay.
It's really right there. Like it's 82 is like the creme de la creme. I mean, you're talking about like Blade Runner and Thing and Wrath of Khan. You're talking about like this is the top of the tier in those genres and those categories, and they all come out within weeks of each other. Even
The never ending story.
Yeah, that's a groundbreaking movie. And I know in
And
December
Revenge of the Nerds.
we do get Christmas Story and stuff like that too. We get Beverly Hills Cop, and like I said, a lot of solid and really good. But other than like Ghostbusters, what's like a top 10 movie on the list? Ghostbusters would be in maybe in its genre. Nightmare on Elm Street for its impact. Terminator. So there's a few. I'm not trying to diss the year.
2010, the year we make contact. What's your thoughts on that one?
I was just never a big fan. The first one, 2001, is just, I don't know. I need to rewatch them. I've said that before. I need to be fair and give it it's kind of like what we were talking earlier about when you rewatch a movie like Last Starfighter. You have these like preconceived notions sometimes, and you watch it and you're like, no, not at all what I thought. So
yep.
I feel like I need to go watch. I feel like I need to go watch Chud just because I've heard that word so many times now.
Meatballs on Snow. Blame It on Rio. That's not what I remember.
Top Secret.
Ain't no Repo Man. You are now, sweetie. It's great. Splash without the hair extension. Yes. Bounty is a good movie. Solid.
Bounty, yeah.
No Time for Love. Dr. Jones.
Firestarter.
I did Disney movies relied on VHS. Revenge of the Nerds. Yeah, Revenge of the Nerds. So, all right, I'm going to say is, Blame It on Rio. Demi Moore. That's all I'm going to say.
We got one last quarter here left with October through December.
Yeah, the December solid. December starts to save it. Yeah, for sure. Terminator starts.
Body
Christmas
Double,
Story.
Firstborn.
Beverly Hills Cop.
There we go.
Dune. Starman comes out. Yeah.
I like Never Cry Wolf
great.
when I was a kid. That was one that I liked. I used to rewatch too.
Yeah, 82 is a year. 84 is a very solid year. Like I said, it's probably an A- because it's so deep with movies. Not because there's like 4 maybe that could be like the top tier kind of movies, but it's like just so many of these really good movies to watch, and you enjoy watching them.
So, let me run an idea by you guys. This upcoming May, we have Star Wars Day coming up. May 25th.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
What do you say? What do you say for that? For one of those days in May? Caravan of Courage.
Ewok movie.
The Ewok movie.
I won't make Loki walk it. I will probably do it. I'll probably find someone like Troy Pacelli or somebody like that. He'll watch it, make him suffer. He'll watch it with me, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't make Loki.
That would make me suffer. Really?
I think so. I think the murder Ewoks. It goes a little far with that movie. I think it's a little far.
No, you gotta understand something. You're talking to the kid that was watching Return of the Jedi. That when the Ewoks jumped out and jumped the stormtroopers, I was up in my chair, standing in my chair, going "Ay-ya, woo 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 woo" as a little kid. So cool. No, I loved Caravan of Courage, and I loved the one where they all died, and yeah, I even loved that one with the crow lady, the lady that turned into the bird. So, and the old man from the firm and from not Lagoon, Cocoon, the old man from Cocoon.
Yeah, that's true.
So, that had he had a YT 1300 freighter. He had like a Millennium Falcon. So, I love those movies. Even the crappy one, even the second one. I think the first one's the best one. The second one was definitely shitty because everybody died.
Battle for Endor?
Yeah, Battle for Endor.
The second one has the diabetes guy.
Yes, that's who I was just talking about. The guy from the firm and the guy from Cocoon, and yeah.
I'm like, I can't remember his name anymore. I'm like, it's
Wilfred Brimley.
Diabetes.
Wilfred.
I'm sure we can find a way to fit it in around some of the other stuff that we're doing. We're loaded with some stuff that's so good to see because we're obviously doing the aliens thing to mature Ironcaster up. We have other things on the list. We're talking about like True Lies, Temple of Doom, Karate Kid, Spider-Man 2, Star Trek 3. So Ghostbusters.
And Chewka Trunk was my boy, dude. He was the trunk, right? He was the Ewok that just flopped it on the table and was like, "I'm the trunk." He knew it. Yeah, he had the big axe, and he was like, "No, Chewka Trunk." So absolutely. Let's watch.
Ewoks are nuts. All right, well, we will. I haven't worked out a Star Wars Day because it's a Saturday and I can't stream, so we have not had conversations yet because all of the fun days this year, I think it's Terminator Day, Ghostbusters Day, and Star Wars Day. I think they're all on Saturdays. I'm just like, I don't know what's happened to the schedule. It was not conducive for the old pop schedule at all. But yeah, 25th is on so we'll see. I haven't not made plans yet on what I'm going to do for Star Wars Day this year, but everyone's asking. I appreciate that.
Nosferatu wants the water button.
We made a mark.
Buttons don't work. Only money.
Yes, I know. Lots of water love. Crow Lady. Just reminded me of one of my favorite movies, The Crow. Yeah, we love The Crow.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we did that talk hard early on. Come back. That's an annual thing for sure. Probably twice a year for me.
I was on a stream with somebody the other day that had Robert Meyer Burnett on. I got to show off that record, and he was like, "Oh my God, that's beautiful. Where did you get that?" Because it's not the soundtrack, it's the score, and nobody ever finds the score. And this is the T-Bird on Fire record. That
Chris.
Big Chris too. Hold on. Oh, there you go.
All right.
There it is.
There it is.
We needed a new emoji. So
oh no.
He's got the tits. He's got the tits. He's got the tits. Yeah, he's got the tits.
On the plus side, I can get a job at Hooters.
Yep.
That's pretty
Though
good.
it might
Chris.
make me want to keep wearing one of those beard nets.
What's the thing? What was the character called? We have to come up with a nickname for the Ironcaster, the Boobcaster.
Actually,
Iron tits.
You could be
No, we
a
can't
Disney
use-
princess now. Go work at Disney World.
Titcaster.
Oh goodness,
There you
that's
go.
so great. Yeah.
Meloncaster.
Meloncaster.
Meloncaster is freaking great.
Yeah.
Get your sticker book ready.
Iron melons. All right, I'll have to get with you, Chris. We'll get a nice high res version over to a Redbubble. Get some stickers ready to go. There you go, folks. We'll let you know when they're available. So, well, Zaxx, that may not be exactly what you thought you were going to have to experience coming on the old talk car. Was a little bit of Iron Melon and Meloncaster scars for your psyche, but
I'll take it. Thanks for having me on.
Casker. Iron's gone wild. Yeah, it's shenanigans have broken out for sure. So, but yeah, this has been a fun blast. I have just like that nostalgia love for it too, man. Like I said, it was just one of those in that era. It's just that kind of stuff. But yeah, good stuff. Hopefully, folks, we gave you some incentive or inspirations to go dust it off and track down that 4K. $25, good price on that. So, but yeah. So Ironcaster, what's the 600 sub celebration looking like? What are we thinking?
Tits.
He just wants to keep saying it. Just see what I'll do. All right. Let's see what he's doing there.
No, I hadn't planned anything out yet for any sort of celebration yet. I figured I was kind of going to hold off till I got closer to the 1,000. Then I'd probably just do it for that, and ultimately.
Okay. All right.
Like, I don't want to do it too many times. It's like, after a while, it's like, oh, the 1,100, 1,200, 1,150.
Oh, I don't know. No, I think you do something. Loki and I had to talk about this too, because I think there is something to be said about planting your flag or celebrating the moment, taking a lap, right? And I think it's like once or twice a year is kind of it. You start doing more than like once or twice a year, it starts to get a little odd, unless your channel's really going through some like crazy things. I think that's fine. You can celebrate with your people, celebrate because they need to know that they're part of something special, because it really is. It is amazing what's happening on YouTube, how it's just I don't know about everybody else, but you find yourself watching this so much more than all the rest of that garbage. Yep. So it's me doing stuff for the channel or watching people on this platform. That's really pretty much what most things are.
So I think my goal is to kind of go get a little closer to it, and then maybe I start doing like some like countdown to 1,000 stuff.
Okay. All right.
Like I just want to kind of sneak up on it, and then kind of like, oh, holy shit, I'm almost there.
That's true. Well, Zaxx, Wednesdays is must-watch TV. That's my theory. I don't know what to call TV on YouTube, but that's what I call it. So, what's going on the next couple of Wednesdays, and what's going on with Circle Jerks and everything else going on over there, my friend?
We've got Cameron Pasha on tomorrow, 9 Central for What's Good Wednesday. We're going to talk about some paranormal, supernatural stuff, and we'll get into a bit of it, some of the scoops, but mostly we want to talk about spooky stuff. And then next week, the 7th, we're going to be covering The Bear with you, Pops.
Yeah.
The Bear, the best show on TV this year.
The best show. It is incredible. And we even have issues with the finale, which we are going to love to get beat up for, I'm sure, because we could still have an A show and have some issues. And I think it's more like just semantical type things. It's not so. But anyway, yes. Great channel. Yeah, just incredible show. The Bears is, I cannot believe something like a cooking show like that could be that good, but it truly was.
Me neither. And I want people to watch it. So like it's winning awards and stuff, which is nice, but I would like to see like it get more attention. So I always bring it up and people are going to get annoyed by that, but I don't care. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's an easy watch and it's good for binging too. I don't normally like to binge stuff, but this one, it makes sense too because of the way they structure the story. So
it took me like a week and a half. I was done in like a week and a half.
Yeah.
It was like no time at all to get through because the stories are so fast with how, especially season 1, it's clicking along through things. And then once you get to season 2, there's like 3 episodes. It's like some of the best perfect television ever, like ever. As far as like the concept of having like 2 or 3 episodes together, I can't believe it. I've watched them twice and I'm just like, I can't believe this. This is really so good. So
Fishes and Forks, they're just like those 2 back to back.
And I actually like the one after that one too. The one after it, because I think it takes the stories, and now it's almost like the perfect setup,
right?
For where it's just like, oh my gosh, this is so. It makes you want so much more. I just couldn't believe how good it is. So,
yes.
Loki, my brother, what is YouTube talk looking like? What's the rest of the week look like? What's going on over there, my friend?
Well, I don't know if you saw this morning, but Mexican Iron Man is still on the run. He refuses to admit what happened 2 Tuesdays ago. On Taco Tuesday, the fact that, he got brought out as a Disney pixie duster, that he got brought out in support of the current regime, that he got brought out as a YouTuber by his own family. He has been exposed. As Shum likes to say, stop exposing him, Loki. No one wants to see that. He's still on the run. He's still calling me a meanie head. He said if I played that clip this morning, he wasn't going to show up, and he didn't show up this morning because I played the clip, of him admitting that, he supports other YouTubers and he is a YouTuber and he supports Disney. He's kind of angry. He keeps calling me a meanie face. So tomorrow we're gonna lay off Mike for one day and one day only. We're gonna do YouTube talk. We'll talk about, is this a job or is this not a job? What do you guys think? Do you think this is a job? Do you think this is something you work at, put your blood, sweat, and tears into? Or is this something people go, you do what? Isn't that just playing online? So we'll talk about that tomorrow. Thursday. I have no idea what the hell we're going to do. I know on Friday we're going to be hanging out with Dave Bob, Arwen Avalon. And then that night, we have the late show with me and Snowdub, which usually goes absolutely crazy. So anybody can show up. Anybody can jump on. It's nuts. So we never know what's going to happen. Is Culture going to show up? Is Tom going to show up? Is Snowdub going to show up? I don't know. Are some crazy puppets going to show up? Because ever since Snow took over, some crazy puppets have been showing up. Shellback and some other people. So we have no idea what's going to happen, who's going to show up, what's going to go down. But it should be fun. It's our way of unwinding. It's like Cheers. You go where everybody knows your name, and that's how you end your Friday night. And then, we're back. Will Mexican Iron Man show up next Tuesday? Will he come back? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to find out. He's still talking to me, but it's one of those, you're a meanie face, Loki. Stop picking on me. And I'm like, I'm not picking on you. You threw down the gauntlet. You said you weren't any of these things. And, your own family called you out. It never happened, Loki.
Have you put that video at the top of your channel? So you know how when you can set them to be the first.
Oh, Thank you. No, I didn't. It's the Star
Yeah, that way
Trek
it's easy
one.
to
It's the
find.
to William
Yeah,
Shatner.
no. Just change it out and just put that one up there. So whether you're a subscriber or new, that's the first one everybody can
doing
see.
that right now. I'm doing
Yeah,
that
because
right now.
The look on his face as his sister is like explaining about like how he is. I'm like, dude, like your sister is calling you a YouTuber. Like it's not even like, oh, I don't know. Like my son was giving me the whole, like, I don't know. You know how it is with family. Like Zaxx and I, we had to talk about this when we saw each other. It was like, you don't really see yourself as a YouTuber. You don't really see, my son's like, Dad, you have 3 regular shows. You're doing 10 videos. You're doing this. You have 2,500. Yeah. What other definition would there be than? I'm like, oh. No, Ironcaster, it was the best if watching Mim's face when, he's a YouTuber. Like, what are you talking about? I was like, oh, it's so great. It's the best. So
I had an earpiece in. I was listening to it. It was amazing.
I just kept replaying it. I just kept replaying it. I think I watched it like 6 times that day. I actually did that segment. So,
and I'm telling you, Loki, you got to go back and get the clip of like Mike having to turn around and grab like the Alf and hug it to console himself as he's like, wait, Ironcaster's like never seen The Godfather.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. That's true. Tomorrow,
I got him to hug Alf, and I think I accomplished something here.
This Alf is secretly the security blanket. It's basically he's the Whoopi. Alf is the Whoopi. Yeah. Tomorrow is my review. So if you guys don't know about Angel Studios, that's the studios that did Sound of Freedom. Their new movie is called Cabrini. It's about a nun who's basically just doing God's work, man. It's a crazy, epic story. It's a heavy drama. It drops in a few weeks. But I got an early review with no embargo. So cool. I dropped that review tomorrow morning. And that's a really cool thing. Really excited. These people really reached out and responded the way they did. Mrs. Pops and I had a great time watching that. So we'll share our thoughts on that a little bit. And then I have my response. We had never seen it in a theater. We went and saw Wizard of Oz in a theater. So hail to Fathom Events. Seeing something like that in a theater, it just changes this perspective of everything. Like, so again, if you're a fan of Dune 1984, if you're a fan of the Muppet movie, if you're a fan of Fifth Element, these are all movies that are dropping in Fathom this year. So if you've never seen them in a theater, the perspective of just have that experience is just phenomenal. And I'm so glad we did that. We sat there and it was old and young. It was like people in their 70s. There was like little kids, and it was just a spectacular experience to see Wizard of Oz in the theater. So those are kind of the next 2 things that drop tomorrow. But if you're a member, you have access to those right now. So go over there and check those out. Leave your comments and let me know what you think. They're not finalized, but they're there. And next week we're doing Starman, a John Carpenter film. Man, it's another fun day. Yeah, just a fun film. Nordporio will be our guest. He'll be in the house with us. So it'll be a fun time. What are you gonna say, Ironcaster?
Oh, just I have one little gift here from Jacob Ironside. He sent my way after we sat through Highlander 2.
Oh my, yes, that's very spot on. Yeah.
I'm screaming my head off like, yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, that works. That works.
That's real good. Mm-hmm. That's real good. Well, Pat, I mean, it's been re-released a couple times, so it's not like it's the first time in theaters. So it's just that we've never seen it here. I loved going to. So we had a place in Tampa called Tampa Theater, which is like the old theater, right? It's all the wood. They have the piano. So we've seen like the Phantom of the Opera. We've seen all that kind of stuff. So it's really fun to see older film. Like I've seen a lot of Hitchcock movies there. I've seen all that kind of stuff, and just we've never seen Wizard of Oz in a theater. So. I've been greasing the wheel with Fathom because I think it's in that same category with like Tubi and some of these other outlets that are giving us access to media that the other people aren't giving us access to. That's my philosophy. Like if it's physical media, it's Tubi, it's Fathom. It's a small production company like Angel Studios. I mean, this movie is got the look and the feel of an epic. And so you may not like the movie, it may be a drama, it may not be your kind of cup of tea, but you can't deny the scope and scale of a small budget studio was able to pull off. That was probably the most impressive element of the film was the quality of the film, the execution of the film. So, but yeah, that full review will be out for everybody tomorrow. Don't have a comic book talk this week, so I'll probably take a week off from that. Still just juggling that kind of regard, but Starman, and then it happens, Loki. Clockwork Orange, Strap Him In, Halo Season 2. So 2 weeks out, we'll have to brush up on our nicknames, and we'll be here with this crazy chat, rocking and rolling through the nightmare that is Halo. We'll see. Maybe they'll surprise us. Maybe it will be a shock, and they're going to undo things. They're going to turn it. Sure.
John had sex with Hot Pocket. You can't undo that.
True.
You can't change that. And Cortana is an annoying, jealous twit. You can't fix that. Are they gonna try and Kevin Smith it and act like it never happened?
I couldn't believe that Miss Mullet was in the trailer. Like, there's a quick shot of Miss Mullet. I'm like, oh, it's done. It's like not Dave Chappelle and Miss Mullet are in the trailer. Now, I don't know what that means, but I'm like, I'm out. So, well, listen, we'll do some a little.
They kept them around.
All I know is there's one shot in the trailer, and that's not Dave Chappelle, and that's Miss Mullet.
Huh.
So
maybe they die at the very beginning of the season.
They weren't even in the last 2 or 3 episodes. Remember, he takes her back to the Sand Planet, and then we just forget about that whole story arc for 3 episodes, and we get back to the fact there's supposed to be a Halo story happening. It was so self-aware of how bad the show was. So, okay, with that, we'll have some fun going out with some shenanigans. But folks, talk hard, be blessed. Till next time, take care, everybody.
But our shenanigans are cheeky and fun.
Yeah, I mean, his shenanigans are cruel and tragic.
Which makes them not shenanigans at all, really. Evil shenanigans.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.